What if the next Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 8 could save you from a $500 inner screen repair before the damage even happens? Because Samsung just revealed updates for the Galaxy Z Fold 8 lineup that are way bigger than a simple design tweak. We're talking about a brand new debris detection system, a serious push toward a creaseless foldable display, major camera upgrades, and the clearest signal yet about the future of the S Pen on Foldables. So if you've been waiting to see whether the Galaxy Z Fold 8 is finally the foldable generation worth upgrading for, you're going to want to hear this. Let's start with the headline that's lighting up the leaks: the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold by wide. Samsung basically confirmed the existence of this model through an animation discovered in the upcoming One UI 9 firmware. And while that alone is huge, the bigger story is what Samsung is building into the entire Z Fold 8 series, a feature called foreign material detection. If you've ever owned a foldable phone or even just held one, you know the single most stressful moment is closing it. Because all it takes is one tiny grain of sand, one speck of dust, or one random crumb in the wrong place. And suddenly, you're staring at dents, dead pixels, or a puncture on the inner display. Foldables have come a long way. And yes, Samsung's ultra-thin glass is much tougher than the early plastic era displays. But let's be honest, the inner screen is still the part you treat like it's made of glass, because it is. That's where foreign material detection could be a game changer. Here's the idea. If the phone senses debris or a foreign object while you're trying to close the device, it warns you instantly. It's basically your Z Fold 8 saying, "Stop, something is in here." Samsung has even shown demo images of the feature working, and it feels similar in spirit to the safety alerts we've seen on other advanced foldable concepts, like vibration warnings when folding the wrong direction. Now the big question, is this feature software-based or hardware-based? Realistically, it sounds hardware-based. To detect physical debris in a meaningful way, Samsung would likely need some sort of sensor system involved. And if that's true, don't expect older devices like the Galaxy Z Fold 7 to get this feature through a simple software update. This looks like one of those next-gen upgrades that requires new internal components. Next, let's clear up a rumor that keeps spreading. Samsung is not going back to rounded corners on the Galaxy Z Fold 8. Those rounded renders floating around are concept images, not official design confirmation. Everything we're seeing points to Samsung keeping that boxier Galaxy Ultra-inspired design language for both the standard Z Fold 8 and the new Z Fold 8 Wide. Now let's talk about what wide actually means, because the dimensions are where this gets interesting. The Z Fold 8 Wide is expected to feature a 7.6-inch inner display and a 5.5-inch outer display. And yes, that outer screen is where the experience changes. The entire point of a wider foldable is to make the cover display feel less like an emergency screen and more like a real phone you can comfortably use without unfolding every 5 minutes. Wider also means better productivity in split-screen mode, more comfortable typing, and a more natural viewing experience for video and media. And strategically, this move makes perfect sense. Samsung clearly wants multiple fold options to match different lifestyles, a standard Galaxy Z Fold 8 for everyday balance, and a Z Fold 8 Wide for people who want maximum productivity and a more tablet-like feel. It also feels like a direct response to Apple's rumored iPhone Fold, similar to how Samsung positions certain Galaxy models to counter Apple's upcoming lineup shifts. Now let's move to cameras, because Samsung is making at least one major upgrade official. The ultra-wide camera is confirmed to be 50 megapixels across the Galaxy Z Fold 8 lineup. That's a meaningful jump from previous generations, and it lines up with what you'd expect from Samsung's top-tier camera strategy, especially if they want the Fold series to feel as ultra as possible. The main camera is still a question mark, but expectations are leaning towards Samsung keeping a 200-megapixel sensor, similar to what we've seen in recent premium models. What's still unclear is whether the Z Fold 8 Wide gets a dedicated 3x telephoto lens, or if Samsung uses a mix of optical zoom plus high-quality sensor cropping the way they've done on other devices. Either way, the standard Galaxy Z Fold 8 is expected to feature the new 50MP ultra-wide and a new 3x system. And even if Samsung relies on cropping at certain zoom levels, you should still see improvements in detail, stability, and overall image processing. Now let's talk battery, because battery life is one of the biggest reasons people hesitate to daily drive a foldable. The current rumors point to a 5,000 mAh battery in the Galaxy Z Fold 8. And if that's accurate, it's a big deal. Foldables need more power than regular slab phones because they're driving larger displays and multitasking features. And a battery bump like that would instantly make the Z Fold 8 series more practical for heavy users. But the update that might matter most to everyday owners isn't the battery or the cameras. It's the display. Both the Galaxy Z Fold 8 and the Galaxy Z Fold 8 Wide are expected to get Samsung's new creaseless display technology. And this time, it's not just vague rumor. Samsung has shown this kind of technology publicly, which makes it feel more real than the usual yearly "the crease is gone" hype cycle. Because let's be real, we hear the same promise every year. The crease is reduced. The crease is basically gone. And then the phone launches, and you can still see it in the right lighting. But if Samsung truly delivers a creaseless foldable display in the Z Fold 8 generation, that becomes one of those upgrades that instantly changes the perception of foldables for mainstream buyers. Less crease doesn't just look better, makes the phone feel more premium, more futuristic, and more like the foldable dream people have been waiting for now. The S Pen situation? This is where a lot of people are confused. Because the internet turned Samsung changed, something into Samsung is killing the S Pen. But Samsung's own wording tells a different story. Samsung has officially stated they are working on a more advanced S Pen with a new display structure. And they specifically said it reduces the penalty of supporting S Pen functionality. That word, penalty, is everything, because on S Pen support usually comes with trade-offs, extra thickness, extra layers, and design compromises. Samsung also confirmed that the S Pen remains one of the core technologies across their ecosystem. So no, the S Pen is not going away. What's likely happening is Samsung is trying to remove the need for the traditional digitizer layer under the display. If they can achieve S Pen input without that extra layer, it solves the biggest issue, thickness. And that explains the real reason the Galaxy Z Fold 7 reportedly stepped back from full S Pen support. It wasn't because Samsung stopped caring. It was because they were chasing a thinner design, and the digitizer layer made that harder. Remove the digitizer requirement, and suddenly S Pen support can return without making the device bulky. The only real question now is timing. Does this new S Pen and display structure arrive with the Galaxy Z Fold 8 lineup, or is it something Samsung is building toward for the Galaxy Z Fold 9 era? One more thing worth mentioning. Samsung's recent messaging makes it clear. They want foldables to go mainstream, not just remain expensive niche tech for early adopters. That's exactly why a Z Fold 8 Wide makes sense. More choice means more people can find a fold that fits their needs, whether that's portability, productivity, or media consumption. So when you put it all together, the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 8 lineup is shaping up to be one of the biggest foldable upgrades we've seen in years. Foreign material detection could genuinely prevent costly inner display damage. The creaseless display could finally deliver on a promise the industry has been teasing forever. The camera upgrades make the Fold feel closer to ultra-level flagship territory. And the S Pen isn't dead, it's evolving into something smarter, thinner, and more foldable friendly. Now I want to know what you think. Are you more excited about the Galaxy Z Fold 8 Wide, or do you prefer the standard Z Fold 8 size? And if Samsung really delivers debris detection plus a creaseless display, would that be enough to convince you to upgrade? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Hit like if this breakdown helped. Subscribe for more Samsung Galaxy leaks and foldable updates, and I'll see you in the next one.